Welcome to yet another episode of Wellbeing Wednesdays with Arvinda Narula on BW Wellbeing World. My guest today is an actress. She's a wellness entrepreneur and a certified nutritionist. She is none other than Claudia Ciesla. Apart from being an actress, she's also an author of a successful book called Keep Eating, Keep Losing. With her new venture, Claudia's Concept, she's promoting fitness, giving diet tips, and motivating people to work out. She started her career in the Indian entertainment industry by participating in Big Boss 3. She starred against Akshay Kumar for a song, Balma. She was part of the comedy circus, K. Mahabali. She was also awarded the Best Celebrity Nutritionist and was awarded by none other than Shilpa Shetty. So, welcome to Wellbeing Wednesdays, Claudia. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today. And you've had a beautiful journey, being in Bollywood, transitioning to nutrition, and adding values to life of people through your lifetime coaching. So, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I'm looking forward for the insightful interview, and being on your platform, it's enough of pleasure for me. So wonderful, looking forward.
Thank you, Claudia. Claudia, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? How did Bollywood happen to you, and how has been your journey in the field of entertainment industry in India?
That's the easy question. So I think mostly people know me because I started my career in India by entering the Big Boss house. Basically that gave me a lot of fundament and base in Mumbai to stay in this country and never return back to mine. I got a lot of support, a lot of love from India, and till today I am happily living here. And of course, after Big Boss, I have done comedy circus. I have done, Khilari 786. A song called Balma with Akshay Kumar. I have worked in another reality show which was hosted by Shah Rukh Khan. So the industry has been quite entertaining, I would say. And of course, I have done live shows together, like more than 500 of them. And another Kya Kul Hum. There was a movie. I did even a Punjabi movie. I think you are from Punjab. I did a Punjabi movie called Yar Pardesi. So yeah, my journey has been ever since very entertaining. And I enjoyed myself very, very so.
I'm sure that India has had a positive impact on you, and we've been successful in holding you back in the country.
Can you see the smile? That's all India.
Absolutely. And Claudia, your journey moved from entertainment, Bollywood, and you become a nutritional coach. What prompted you to study nutrition and now practice it?
You know what? It was always interconnected. As you rightly introduced me, I come from the background of entertainment industry. And, where literally maintaining your weight, looking your best was a part of my job for so many years. So a decade ago, more than a decade ago, I already, started developing more interest into knowing, how the body is working. How can I nourish myself? How can I have naturally glowing skin? How can I be more happy? What should I eat? Because, the internet and although it is a blessing, but it contains so much of information which could be really confusing for many. And also there are so many diet trends, which sometimes it's difficult to even follow them up. So I decided to learn it on my own because I think our body, keeping ourselves healthy is the most important priority, in fact, of every human being. So I took it very serious, and hence I studied nutrition. And, I don't know if you know, but in 2016, I already published my first book called Keep Eating, Keep Losing. That was my first book as nutritionist. And a few months back, in fact, I got awarded also as the best celebrity nutritionist in Mumbai by the Global Business Awards. And, I got it from Shilpa Shetty herself. And yeah, now I'm going to come also with my own talk show So the journey began a long time back, and it was always interconnected with the entertainment part. But right now, I have basically been always passionate about it. And yeah, I want to see people healthy and happy all around me. So that's my mission.
That's a fantastic mission and a purpose that you're working on, Claudia. What do you think is the common nutritional challenges that people face today? And also, is it different in India from what you have seen in your country or other parts of the world?
I think I'm more Indian than the Indians. So what's happening around the world is a different question. But let me answer this question by giving you certain statistics. If it comes to worldwide, what's really going on, if it comes to health and diet of people, I don't know if you're aware, but the worldwide, 41 million people die every year due to chronic diseases, which can be healed or could be avoided by just changing your diet, exercise, and basically your healthy lifestyle. Another statistic: 12 million people worldwide die from unhealthy eating just by eating the wrong food. 12 million people are dying every year. It's a crazy statistics. India is the capital of diabetes nowadays. So, we have to analyze why it is happening to us, what kind of diets we are having, and perhaps what type of food we should eat to avoid such kind of situations. So, yeah, there are many nutritional challenges. I think, um, the biggest problem is people's food habit, what they have nowadays. People are having multiple meals, they are snacking throughout the day, they are overeating, the quality of food has been really low, and it's going lower and lower. It's the nutrition value of the food we consume is it's not really that great. Another problem is the processed food we are having, the packaged food, ready to eat meals, which is so common because, of course, we want to save time and we want to be comfortable. But at the end of the day, what we are putting into our system, just a lot of empty calories, which actually are causing the situation to happen. And the statistic actually keep growing year by year. So yeah, it's definitely a big problem we are challenging. And of course, which is actually funny. Well, I was just thinking about it last time. Mostly we have been hearing throughout our my life. In fact, I have been hearing, how the world is trying to reduce poverty in the world, right? How are we supposed to grow enough food to feed the entire world? But nowadays, I don't know if you're aware, but more people are dying from overnutrition than malnutrition. Isn't that crazy? We are not.
Yes.
We are growing enough food to feed the entire population, but people are eating too much and too wrong food. That's why we are dealing with the challenges, nutritional challenges, and they're not small. They are like really, really big ones. So I think the solution should be concentrating on good quality food, understanding a little bit of about nutrition, eating whole foods rather than food products. And of course, I think I have always been a fan of home cooked foods. So, I think we should go back to the roots a little bit more rather than going away from them.
Claudia, I'm glad you brought this up. And this brings me to the next question, Claudia, that, how do you help people overcome the nutritional challenges? And do you also, and, while you answer this question, what I'm very keen to understand is when you are helping people understand their nutritional balance and the right foods, are you also using the Indian systems like Ayurveda uh, as a part of your diet? And is it a blend of global nutritional methodologies with the Indian system?
I think firstly, what I'm using is the common sense and the logic. Everyone is trying to bring some logic on the other, why they are eating this, why they're like full of excuses. I think the logical approach is the best approach, be it from Ayurveda, be it from, abroad. It doesn't matter where it comes from, until and unless it's right, it's the right thing to do. So, generally, I think we should not just concentrate on what we are eating about the food quality, although it is a very important part. But let's, at the beginning of this interview, I think we should understand the bigger picture and the holistic approach, which is entire healthy lifestyle. Because healthy lifestyle consists of four main pillars, which is, of course, balanced nutrition, which we started talking about it. So what we are eating, how we are eating, how much we are eating. Second point is exercise, any kind of activity, movement. That's absolutely important. Third part, adequate sleep. We can't, ignore that fact. And fourth, last but not least, emotional well-being. So, until and unless we are not taking care of the entire holistic approach, just one point will not be able to fix all the problems. So firstly, we have to understand that. And why? Because, of course, let's elaborate more about it. Balanced nutrition, what we are eating, how we are eating. Are we consuming enough of micro and micronutrients? That I'm talking about carbs, protein, fat, fiber, all of it. If I'm talking about exercise, movement, exercise is one thing, but being active and reducing the sedentary lifestyle is absolutely important. Building up muscles, to be able to maintain weight, to be able to, take care of your joint, bones, health, ligaments, everything. So exercise is extremely important. Thirdly, sleep. Are we having sound sleep? Are we having good quality of sleep? How many hours are we sleeping? Are we sleeping anything between 6 to 8 hours? Because at the end of the day, the entire repair and rejuvenation of our body happens while we are sleeping. That happens on the cellular level. So it can't be ignored. And emotional well-being. How much stress are we having every day? How much happiness? What kind of emotion we are dealing every day? And how are we able to deal with those kind of emotions? Are very important part, because stress is like a huge part of everybody's life right now. It's only increasing. So, all the four pillars are very interconnected. And I think this is the first main part, what we should concentrate on.
I think you brilliantly put it. And in fact, what I take away from this is that more than just talking about the balanced diet, it is the holistic lifestyle that really needs to be managed. So, and diet is one part of it.
Absolutely.
That's what I understand.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. And Claudia, you spoke about stress. How do you think stress impacts our physical and mental well-being?
I mean, stress is a killer. We know about that. For example, let's take an example. When you eat, you have a plate of food in front of you. What are you supposed to do? Concentrate on the plate of food. And but when you are stressed, what happens internally inside your body is your adrenaline spikes up, your cortisol as a hormone spikes up. So basically, when you are eating food, the entire body is bringing more blood towards your stomach to help you digest that food. However, if cortisol and adrenaline and all those other hormones spikes up, basically because you are stressed, more blood is directed towards your brain to help you to solve that problem, whatever you are dealing with. That's how the mechanism works. But so basically, stress is, not only it causes indigestion, it also causes you're not able to absorb your nutrition properly, even your vitamin, minerals, even other nutrition. So it causes a lot of harms. There was one study I would like to share with you. It was based, it was done in Sweden, and it was based on children. So they were testing the absorption of iron and calcium on children. And in the group of children, they put them into a half. Half of the children were eating the food while concentrating on the plate of food. And the other half, they made them watch on the TV or laptop, something disturbing, whatever. They were distracted. So you will not believe, of course, that's children, not adult. They are more prompt to, different, it's impact them differently. But the end of the study showed that the children who eat and concentrated on the food, their iron and calcium absorption was 90%, which is beautiful and huge. Whereas the children who are distracted while having food and watch something stressful, actually their absorption of calcium and iron was just 5%, which is horrible. So, the impact on stress is sometimes we are not able to imagine. Perhaps in adult, that kind of a vast difference won't be there, but it definitely makes an impact. Acidity is another thing. India is dealing with acidity and heartburn and all those things. Why? Mainly also due to stress. And of course, the wrong food can also trigger it. But stress definitely causes a lot of impact, negative impact. Yeah.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you on this. And especially, I'm glad that you brought this up because what I see today and observe around myself, that children today are glued on to devices while they're eating food. So I think this is an important message for every parent to do their bit to safeguard their children from the distraction and the loss of nutritional value. Since you're talking of stress, I would like to bring this attention to emotional state. How does our emotional state affect the eating habits and food choices? I mean, I've seen people binging on food when they're stressed, right? And also, the reason I'm asking you this is that you have seen the glamour industry and you're now also in the nutritional well-being space. What have you observed in the glamour where along with emotional highs, life itself can be very stressful, right? So what is the impact of this emotional stress onto the food habits?
Emotional stress. Let's talk about emotional well-being first. What does it mean? Actually, emotional well-being is the ability to successfully actually handle your life, right? And adapt to any kind of changes. So look, when you are emotionally in control, you would actually know what to eat, how to eat, and when to stop, right? And you will also know, that you have to work out regularly instead of saying, no, maybe tomorrow, not today, I'm too lazy, I don't feel like today, right? No, these are all just excuses. And these are all excuses based on your emotional state. So if you are not, so basically, let's say that if you are in control of your emotions and your negative thoughts, you will be in control from your life. So let me repeat that. If you can control your emotions, you will be able to control your life. How powerful this line is. And let me give you an example. New Year resolution. You were talking about the film industry, but let's take an example of that everybody in the world will connect. New Year resolution on 1st January. Most of the people are trying to develop new goals. Okay, they want to lose weight, they want to exercise regularly, they want to start meditation, they want to put any kind of changes in their life, which is beautiful. But how long do they stay really motivated to actually do that? And how many of them actually execute it till the end? You see, you will only be able to achieve any kind of goal if you, stay in control of your emotions and actually commit to that progress, right? Otherwise, every moment you will be stressed or bored, you will skip the exercise, you will start eating something sugary, right? You will, which of course give you a temporary happiness, but it's neither a solution to your problem, neither it's actually giving you, pushing you forward towards reaching your goal, right? So emotionally, let's say if you're emotionally down, can you be positive or happy in life? No, right? Absolutely not. So you see, it's like a vicious circle, and you have to break it at one point at the other. So emotional well-being, negative thoughts can definitely impact your health, how you eat. It can impact everything. So you have to firstly control your emotions. Only then the progress can happen.
And since you brought up that India is the diabetic capital, I mean, this is something that we are dealing with as a nation. What are some of the practical ways that you recommend to people who consult you to reduce the consumption of processed foods and added sugars as a part of their daily meals? I mean, I'm a diabetic, and I know that the sugar craving is huge. I mean, especially when somebody tells you don't have it, you want to have it more. So how do you deal with people who consult you on reducing sugar?
It's like if I will tell you, don't think about anything you want, but the pink elephant. Immediately you will start thinking about the pink elephant. I know that's why you can't forbid anyone to don't eat this, don't eat that. But I'm saying if 90% of the time you are eating all the healthy food, then 10% is always allowed, because the 10% won't make so much of change into your life. However, you brought up diabetes, which is a beautiful topic because it's actually so valid in India. What does the processed food does to us? It just spikes your insulin. So if you're eating the wrong kind of food, your insulin is getting spiked again and again, up and down very, very quickly, which is wrong, which is our body is not used to it. And what insulin does, that's another thing which people don't understand. They want to lose weight, but while eating those wrong foods and spiking your insulin, the moment insulin is up, insulin is a hormone, which is a fat storing hormone. So the moment insulin is up, you cannot lose weight. So you have to automatically remove all these ultra processed foods from your life to be able to come out of this addiction. You see, ultra processed foods are highly palatable. They are meant to make us addicted to it in a way that it will be very difficult for us to actually, say no to it, because they are designed that way. Too much salt, too much sugar, too much preservative and fat, and the combination of all or some of it causes the addiction, because it gives a signal to the brain. Basically, it spikes the dopamine, which feels to us like something very pleasurable, and we feel like asking more and more for it. That's obviously, that's why we tend to be addicted to the processed food. But the rule number one, and the solution to that problem, is to actually remove it. It's okay to have it sometimes, but it's not okay to have it every day. Because at the end of the day, if we understand, those are the food kind of products. I can't call it even food because it's not nutritious. It's empty calories, which is not doing anything good to our body. So we have to replace that with something, more healthy, more nutritious. But also, I would like to give you another example. We were talking about dopamine, right? Because dopamine is the happy hormone. It spikes in the brain and we want to have things more, like even processed food. But the good part is that the study also showed that good healthy food can also spike your dopamine, be it, eggs, avocado, even dark chocolate. There are certain foods which also spikes your insulin. Even if you exercise, spike your dopamine, not insulin. Sorry, my mistake. Even when you exercise, also dopamine is up, happy hormone is up. So you will start falling in love with working out every day. Meditation is another beautiful way of spiking your dopamine and being more happy in life. So, we have to come out of the addiction from bad foods and start getting addicted to the right things, which actually make our life so much more happy and beautiful.
That is actually a very beautiful message, because it's not just food, but there could be other things that give you that dopamine rush, that pleasure. And also, what could be, I mean, since you were talking of the 90% and 10%, what comes to my mind is that, once you are following the right foods for 90% of your time, then you can actually gift yourself that 10% as a gift for fulfilling that 90% first.
Yeah, that's a kind of a good thought. But the other thought is, actually, the moment you will start getting addicted to a healthy lifestyle,
you will not want that 10%.
You will not want to have unhealthy food. This is the last thing you will ever want to touch, because the body is automatically reacting like that, supporting you in the right path. So you are thinking that, right now, oh, you will have to compromise, and how will I live with just 10% of, cheating meals? But at the end of the day, once you start, there was a university of the London University, they made a study about a new habit. So you just need to stay 66 days to adapt to the habit. So basically, after 66 days, it will be easier for you to eat the healthy food than not to eat it at all, because you will come into automaticity kind of a cycle, which you will fall in love with that. So be it exercise, be it healthy lifestyle, be it anything new you have to do, you just have to push yourself long enough in 66 days to make your rest of your life comfortable. So
I'm going to definitely try that.
yay.
And Claudia, since you were talking of eating healthy food, and you were talking about something that we also very easily, loosely term it as, your willpower. I think managing your diet, managing your nutrition has got a lot to do with mindfulness and consciousness.
Yeah.
How would you define developing mindful eating habits? And maybe you can deep dive into what you were talking about, the practice of 66 days, etc. How do you help your clients practice eating slowly, consciously, mindfully, so that they can live healthier?
Okay, it's actually very simple. What is mindfulness? I'm saying the first step to mindfulness is basically concentrating your thoughts, your sensations, your everything towards one particular thing. So let's concentrate on the plate of food, for example, in front of us. While we are eating food, the first thing is bless your food. Yeah, pray. Whatever your religion says, you have to pray for 30 seconds. Otherwise, if you don't have any religion, bless your food. Basically, the point is just to concentrate your thoughts on the food rather than your mind wandering everywhere else. Why it is important? Because you will change your attitude, your own attitude towards your food, and your concentration, your focus will be on that plate of food. Number one. Number two, mindfulness. The moment you will start concentrating just on this one plate of food, you will automatically start enjoying the food. You will be more kind of aware of the sensation you are getting, the taste of the particular vegetable or that particular dish, not just hogging it while being distracted. No, you will actually put more attention. While you're putting more attention, you will automatically start chewing the food slowly and you will enjoy the taste. So the moment you chew your food properly, you will also your body, basically all the hunger hormones will have enough of time to actually give you a signal that you are still hungry or you are already full. So automatically, basically, mindfulness and conscious eating is nothing else than making you concentrate on the food so you can finally connect with your body and start listening to your own body signals. Like that, if you develop this one simple habit of concentrating for 5 to 10 minutes, because that's what it takes to eat food, you will never overeat on your food. You will only eat enough of food to nourish yourself. You're not eating then for entertainment. You are not eating out of boredom. You're not eating because of any other emotions. You are eating because you are hungry, and you are eating enough to fill your stomach. So mindfulness is beautiful practice to improve a relationship with food.
That's that's a beautiful phrase. Your relationship with food has to be established. Uh, Claudia, I mean, let me come to the food labels.
Okay.
And a lot of people say that you must read what is written on the label before you eat food, on the nutritional value, on the energy levels that you can get, how much of protein.
Yeah, right.
And today there are a lot of apps that allow you to map the label to the nutritional value of the food. How important do you think this is, especially in the world where just labeling organic or saying that this is a wheat bread, whereas it only contains 10% of wheat, etc. How important is reading the labels, and what is it that you recommend, keeping in mind the calorie count, etc.?
It's a beautiful question and beautiful topic you just brought up. Unfortunately, we are living in a times where when you enter a supermarket, 80% of the food is a packaged food. Just 10-20% is left of the whole food which Mother Nature gave us. Thankfully, over there are no nutrition labels, so you should buy as much as possible those kind of food. Rule number one. Number two, if you must, Let me explain. There are three types of foods. One which Mother Nature gave us, which are the fruits, veggies, seeds, nuts, right? Which you can have unlimited, because that's in the original form. They are packed with fiber, which is good for us. No worry at all. It will not do any harm. The second thing is the minimally processed food, which is like, for example, of course, even rice is in the packet. But if you are seeing the ingredient list, it will be just rice. End of the story. Nothing else, not 20 different ingredients. It's just rice. So fine, you are cooking it at home, you are eating, beautiful for your body. The third, ultra processed foods, are those foods which we should be very aware of it. And you should not buy those until and unless you actually read those nutritional labels, and plus the ingredients list also. In many of those packaged foods, as we were talking about addiction, there has to be excess salt, excess sugar, or excess fat. Without those three, those foods will not be addicted, and this will not be highly palatable. Means, it's a waste of time for the business, because they will not be able to resell it again and again. And plus, all those three, if you will have, means the product will be having a longer shelf life, which is again a profit-making thing. So now you have to, salt will be, of course, written as a sodium. Fat is another problem, but the hidden sugars nowadays, which are everywhere, which we can't even understand, because you can't even pronounce those names. They are in 20, 30 different forms. High fructose corn syrup, sugar, this, that, you will not be even able to understand what ingredients are there. So if you are not able to understand the labels, don't just buy it. A simple advice, because I can't teach you about, what exactly emulsifier and added sugar, which added sugar, artificial sweetness are worst. I mean, you should not buy anything like that. So, the longer the ingredient list is there, the more difficult it will be for you to maintain your weight. Because all those products with a long ingredient list have also, they're very calorie dense, and they're mostly empty calories. So we have to be very aware of it. And especially those products, which shows low fat, no added sugar, or something like that. No added sugar doesn't mean it doesn't has artificial sweetness, or it doesn't mean it doesn't has a syrup. So it's very misleading, those kind of labels. No fat, it just, as a human being, you feel like you got the license to eat plenty of it, because you are thinking no fat or no added sugar means it's good for me. But it's not like that. It's just like misleading you and making the entire process a little difficult for a lot of people. Until and unless you didn't study nutrition, it's really difficult, right? And it can be very confusing also. So I think avoid as much as possible, and don't trust those labels as no fat. If there is no fat, means the food will be tasteless, so automatically they had to add any kind of sugar, otherwise you will not enjoy it, right? Absolutely. So it's a very short story, but it's very important point you brought up for people to understand.
Yeah, Claudia, this was about nutrition. Another aspect of your life, and I see that is very close to your heart, is about well-being and lifestyle coaching.
Yes.
What is it that you do as an effective relaxation technique to reduce stress? What does Claudia do?
Again, all those 4 pillars, nutrition can't be kind of taken away from it, because balanced nutrition can give you a lot of peace. Meditation, exercise, all the 4 pillars, and of course, adequate sleep. All of it will help you to reduce stress. I think on the beginning, you also mentioned, if I get inspired from Ayurveda. I do. I read books, even homeopathy, Ayurveda, herbs, different kind of Asians, very rooted, very powerful, stuff. Like, I don't know if you're aware, but the food we eat can increase your energy, can decrease your energy, or can actually help you balance your energy. The food which will decrease your energy, for example, it can be refined grains, fried food, alcohol. It will drain you down. You will feel lazy, tired, heavy. The ingredients which will the food ingredients which will increase your energy, but by actually spiking your energy, right? So you will end up feeling irritated, moody, restless. Again, the refined sugars which we were talking about, right? And the junk food, fast food. So again, you will not be able to be peaceful and happy. But the food which will actually balance your energy, keep you calm, keep you pure, keep you light, are the whole foods, nuts, seeds, cold pressed oils. All those things, the more you introduce it into your life, the more peaceful and happy you will be. Stress, you were talking about, exercise. I don't know if you're aware of it, but exercise actually balances your hormone. Again, I told you, it gives you the dopamine rush, and the dopamine is nothing else than happy hormone. Happy hormones are nothing else than natural antidepressants. So if you are stressed or you have any anxiety or restlessness, go for a walk, go for a swim, go for a dance, do anything you like, come back and tell me how you feel. I guarantee you, you already feel much better and much happier. So, and of course, meditation, ancient technique to be happy, to be peaceful, to reduce stress. So I think all the four pillars, are very interconnected, and they are all the solutions to that kind of a problem.
Yeah. Claudia, let me ask you something which just came to my mind. Since you're talking about meditation, do you believe in spirituality?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Very much.
Yeah. And so do you believe that the food we eat has vibrations based on, with how much of love it has been cooked for you, etc.? What is your belief on this?
Definitely, food is energy, right? Food is fuel, and fuel is energy for our body. Again, the food, simple food, can increase, decrease, or actually balance you. That itself shows that the food has the power to change you, your emotion. So definitely, I know there is a thought in India that, the food which your wife cooks for you is made with that extra love. So while you're having that, it's even more nutrition. So I think that the thought itself, that your wife is cooking it with love, makes you automatically so happy that you tend to believe in that, and definitely it's nothing harming. I'm saying it's a good thought process. Why not? As long as your thoughts are positive around the food, whatever you believe, it's fine. That's what I think. If your thoughts are negative, that it will also negatively impact you. If your thoughts are positive, it will positively impact you. So if you feel your wife while she's cooking your food, you are feeling more happy and it makes her happy, go ahead, cook your food daily. You know what I mean?
I'm not too sure how many husbands are going to be agreeing with this, but definitely it's the message for the husbands is that if your wife is cooking, don't bring your negative energy to it. Assume that it's been cooked with love, so you will enjoy your food.
Yeah. So basically, we should eat with the right kind of emotions. And our belief system around food should be also based on positivity. So whatever you feel like believing spiritually, because everyone spiritually believes in certain different thing, until and unless it is a positive and it's inspiring you and it's, make you feel more happier, nothing like it. Whatever negative, put it aside.
Absolutely. Claudia, you were speaking of meditation and you were talking about happy hormones, exercising. Do you think that practicing meditation can also help you in managing your physical health?
Physical health? Yeah, of course, because meditation automatically, make you more peaceful, make you more balanced. I feel like I do practice meditation for the longest time, but sometimes because due to traveling and all this stuff, I don't meditate every day. So on my example, I can tell you, the moment I meditate, even for 10-15 minutes in the morning, my day goes completely different. But if I miss it, that little simple exercise, my emotional state a little bit is haywire. I'm not saying it's wild, no, but I can feel it. Emotional, I mean, like meditation is so powerful, especially if it is done regularly, because it gives you clarity of mind, it gives you positivity, it gives you a lot of patience and balance. So if you have those kind of emotions, which are, which you are starting your day with, then imagine the rest of the day, how beautifully and smoothly it can go. Even if problems will come in front of you, you will be just able to handle it very differently.
I completely agree with you on this, because this is something that I've also experienced, that the day I feel uh, mentally strong, I feel happy, I feel calm, I have more physical energy to run about the whole day than
Yes.
otherwise. So
Yes.
I completely agree with you on this. Claudia, you also have been very passionately speaking of sleep. I've heard you mention sleep a couple of times during our conversation. Do you think the lack of sleep affects our overall well-being? And how long and well do you sleep? And what is your recommendation to people who consult you on, on the quantum of sleep versus the quality of sleep? What do you think is the right balance?
Beautiful question, and such an important topic to address. As I mentioned before, the four pillars: adequate, balanced food, exercise, sleep, and emotional well-being. If when sleep is is affected, all the other three pillars will be also. So let's say if you're not sleeping properly, your emotional well-being will be definitely affected, because you will be low on energy, you will be moody, you will be irritated throughout the day, and not to mention, you will not be able to focus and concentrate on your work. When you are not able to focus and concentrate, basically your work won't be done, means your stress level will increase. When your stress level increase, what do you do with your food? Obviously you will start craving more sugar, you will start craving more carbohydrates, right? So hence definitely the entire diet of this day will go on toss. And lastly, exercise. If you have not slept properly, you will be just too tired and too lazy to actually go to the gym and exercise, isn't it? So you see, all the four pillars are very interconnected. So sleep is that important. And also, not to forget to mention that sleep is important because it's the only detox for our brain. While we are sleeping, actually, the rejuvenation, the growth, the repair on the cellular level happens in our body. So which of course improves our immunity, it lowers the inflammation in our body. So sleep is such an important part which you cannot compromise on. So I believe, and I definitely advise people to sleep anything between 6 to 8 hours. Everybody's body clock and is little different, so you have to figure it out, the timing and how many hours of sound sleep. Once you wake up, you feel rested, that you have to figure it out. For me, for example, it's anything between 7 to 7.5 hours. Once I have this much of sleep, I'm perfectly fine. I'm ready to face the entire day, and I'm extremely energetic. So you have to find out that for yourself, but make sure your sleep is sound. I mean, that's the important part.
And also, since you're talking of sleep, is it just the quantum of sleep for 7.5 hours or 8 hours, like you're suggesting, each one to his own, but also the time of sleep? There are a lot of people who sleep very late. I mean, they are awake till about 3 in the morning, and then they sleep until noon. Is there a right time to sleep?
I am a biggest believer of the circadian rhythm. So the are you aware of circadian rhythm?
Claudia, I am aware, but can you explain it for the benefit of our
Yes.
viewers?
So circadian rhythm is basically the cycle of waking up and going to sleep also. So basically our body is connected together with the nature. And so are our hormones. So basically, in the night after the sunset, melatonin secretion starts happening, right? So automatically after some times, that's the signal for the body that's very soon you are supposed to go to sleep and take rest, because the repair and rejuvenation on the cellular level has to happen. So automatically we are supposed to fall asleep through during the morning, closer to the morning, once the sun rises, because we are again connected to the nature. Mother nature is very powerful, and our hormones automatically regulates that way. So in the morning after the sunset, your blood pressure is up, little cortisol is up. Why? So you can wake up, melatonin level is down. Afterwards, again few hours afterwards, your digestive system is very powerful, very strong. Hence you are supposed to have perhaps breakfast. Definitely lunch is the most important meal of the day. Why? Because your digestive system works ultimately on the highest level. Towards the evening you can have a lighter dinner. Why? Because again the digestive system is going down and melatonin secretion is going up. So I know many people are perhaps more comfortable to go to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. However, that's against the circadian rhythm. And I always say, until and unless you have not reached the ultimate health, you don't know the ultimate happiness, you will not crave for it. Until and unless you don't change your routine and align yourself with nature and actually experience all these beautiful benefits it can give you, you won't crave for it. So, sooner or later, either they'll have to realize that and adjust accordingly, or they will not. I mean, it's about your goal in your life, because there are so many clients coming to me, but the first question I ask is, what's your goal? You just want to lose 10 kg? You want to just survive, or you want to thrive in your life? Accordingly, I'll guide you. I perhaps will tell you all my theory in life and what's right to do. But it's about everybody's motivation, and lifestyle is different. We can just guide and perhaps tell them what should be the right thing to do.
Claudia, that's a very beautiful thing to do. I mean, as you were speaking, I was thinking that as a nutritionist, if you can help people find their purpose as to why they need to be healthy, you can actually put them on a path that they can follow on their own. That could be a very beautiful motivational way of helping people lead a healthier life.
Such a great observation, because at the end of the day, as a nutritionist, I can't be motivating you every day. I have to show you. I always share knowledge with people, because I think if they see the bigger picture, they can find actually the purpose which will help them to wake up every day in the morning. They will have enough of excitement to do it on their own, because at the end of the day, that's what's important, and that's what actually will help you to achieve that goal, whatever it takes, however long it takes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Claudia, I want to ask you another question, which has been really something that I have been trying to find an answer to, and it is very, very important in my perspective. It is about thinking positive. You know, uh, I personally believe that thinking positive is a state of mind, right? And how can someone create a positive mindset? And how can someone stay positive even when they are battling with some of the toughest medical conditions? How can they create a positive mindset to be wanting to recover from an illness or an injury? Do you think positive mindset can work as a placebo for helping people live better? Uh, or is it just, and so this is one question, and the second part of the question is, when you are going through tough times and other people come and say that, listen, you should think positive, have a positive mindset, and you think that, listen, this, i'm hypothetically, I'm battling with cancer and you're telling me to think positive. So that's a toxic positivity. So what is your perspective to these two things?
Beautiful question, and I would love to talk about that more. Starting with your first question, I think positive thinking is like a habit. There are people, like, you remember I said that one line that if you are able to control your emotions, you will be able to control your life. It's exactly that. You know, we have, as human beings, we have thousands of thoughts automatically happening in our mind every single day. It's about you, your habit, and your power to be able to, on which thought you want to concentrate, on which thought you have to ignore. And it's nothing else than your hard work to achieve that positive mindset. Until and unless you will not really concentrate on it, like you're concentrating on developing good food habits, that no, today I'm not eating processed food, period. I'm not. So, you know, you have to create a habit of your own thoughts also. It takes time, but manifestation has been a thing for years right now, for decades. I think we all know about the book called The Secret, which is nothing else than believing and receiving. You have to first believe and convince your own mind. Only then it can happen, and actually it can come into something fruitful in your life. So definitely I am a biggest believer of positive thinking. I am practicing it every single day. You know, in the morning I do my manifestation, whereas I close my eyes, I do it for 10-15 minutes, and at the end of the day I keep saying what my goals are, and I already visualize that I have achieved it. And you have no idea how powerful it is. And I think it's like, you know, also about people. You were saying that example that some people are coming with that negative thoughts or giving you doubts. You know, there is one beautiful thing a person has said to me. Everything in life is about assets and liabilities. You are having a business mind. You are from business background, so you know that your assets are your beautiful amazing employees. Your assets are the building and the salary or whatever good you're collecting. The liabilities will be the loan, the borrowing, the anything which brings you down. The same thing is with life. The same thing is with even your food. Liabilities will be bloating, acidity, emotional, not being emotionally well. All of it are liabilities. It goes to people as well. We have people in life who are just draining our energy down, and there are people in life who are always pushing you. You can do it. Just try. Believe. I believe in you. You should also believe. Let's listen. Okay, let me help you out. This is the goal. Okay, why don't we design how could you actually practically reach there? So there are people who can actually push you and bring you up, and there are people who constantly try to bring you down. You have to clean your life also, and not allow negativity to actually enter you to a level where you're believing or doubting your own capability. Because definitely a topic, I think it should be talked about more and more, because I think it's the most powerful exercise anybody could practice. And I am doing it myself. It's just take 5, sometimes 10-15 minutes. That's it. You can make your mind very powerful tool. Your biggest assets in your life is your mind. You have to just learn to use it in the best way possible.
And Claudia, my last question to you is, how can our self perception and body image influence our mental and physical health? Any suggestions you have for what you have seen around you?
Around me in the entertainment industry, in the modeling industry, you know, body shaming, size zero, that constant comparison. I think that causes a lot of stress, right? And definitely decrease your confidence to a level where it can be very harmful, especially, you know, I think a lot of teenagers and a lot of youth is looking up to those celebrities, stars, you know, from all over the world. And it's a very dangerous thoughts for them, because they are not sometimes strong enough to you know, understand that everybody is beautiful, everybody of us is unique, everyone is different, and we have the right to be different. different. And even if you're facing any challenges, take a step-to-step approach, and don't feel that, you know, you are alone with this problem, which, you know, you don't even know how to start and when to start. It's that self-perception of the body image, especially the body shaming, which, you know, has been a topic for so many years right now, in India, definitely worldwide, perhaps also. So I think it can cause a lot of harm, and to the mental and physical, because, you know, bulimia, anorexia, all of it comes from there, right? You want to be something which you are perhaps not right now yet there, and you are taking so much of stress, so much of tension, because you have no idea how do you even achieve it. And I think there is so much of scope of improvement, and I believe especially universities and colleges, those topics and those lectures should be actually spoken about. So to give those young girls, especially girls have problems with it, more confidence, more power, more trust and believe in themselves again, coming back to the positive thinking. And yeah, because it starts from there.
And any social causes that you're associated with, Claudia?
Any social causes? I mean, you know, my thing is I want everyone around me healthy and happy. And as I said, there are, you know, people dying all over the world because of chronic diseases, because of unhealthy eating. These are not things you're supposed to die from, you know. So my cause is to spread awareness. My cause is to, you know, help people understand that, you know, diet and healthy lifestyle can be very easy. It's not complicated at all. And it can be a beautiful journey, which I would like to assist you with. So this is what I'm doing, spreading the knowledge, all, even using social platforms. Even my next talk show is coming, is going to release. It's called Wait and Watch with Claudia. So yeah, I am trying to do my bit into spreading good, positive knowledge about how healthy lifestyle could be a beautiful journey, and inspire people to do that, you know, to avoid that horrible statistics to grow.
Claudia, I think, you know, it has been such a beautiful conversation. And, you know, if I remember correctly, the 4 things that you were talking of is balanced nutrition, movement, keep moving, exercise, adequate sleep, and keep yourself emotionally strong. The 4 things, the 4 pillars which can keep you healthy, both physically and mentally. And it is, guys, for anyone who's watching this show, this lady sitting in front of you, Claudia, if you look at the glow on her face, the smile she has is a testimony that she's practicing this. If it has worked for her, it could work for you. And Claudia, for me, the big takeaway is that I'm going to print this and keep it in front of my table. If you are able to manage your emotions, you can control your life.
Yes.
So that's the mantra that, you know, you have given me. And gratitude to you for sparing your time to be with us. It has been a really meaningful conversation.
Well, thank you so much. You know, you are extremely knowledgeable. The question you asked me are absolutely wonderful. We had a great conversation. Thank you so much for having me on your platform and helping me with my mission to spread more knowledge and perhaps help others to achieve healthy lifestyle. And yeah, wonderful talking to you. Yeah, hopefully we will all be more happy and healthy.
Absolutely.